information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to Kitchen Dough, the food entrepreneur show with Mary and Heather. I'm Mary Goulet.
And I'm Heather Ryder, and we're going to be talking about cottage food laws. Super fun.
Kind of dry.
Going legal on you.
We're giving you dry goods right now.
And so...
But important.
Really important because people will make food from home and sell it, whether there's a law or not. I'm so surprised that people didn't know it was illegal to do it before 2013 in California.
Yeah, I always kind of chuckle to myself because once a month, we have a very large Hispanic parishioner base at my parish. We get those tamales. Where do they come from? They're homemade.
Yes.
Literally homemade.
Right.
And people take orders for them. Like,
right.
Give the money and take an order and I want 10 or 2 or whatever. Maybe they don't know.
Well, and maybe they already are a cottage food
Possibly.
operation. Do you know what I'm saying? But before, they never had the opportunity to do that legally.
But people did.
But people have always done it. That's
right.
the thing. It's just they did it in the shadows, and they did it without any kind of regulation. So if it's something's already going to be happening anyway, it's better that there's a legal way to do it. And to do it correctly, and then to be able to have someone come in and inspect your kitchen and have a way to track sales and do it out in the open, I think.
Okay. I kind of agree with you on that because you do want to have some parameters. If you're going to be doing this, then get your permit, then follow these steps. And
because it's going to happen anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So what other advantages would you say that cottage food laws give to the person doing this, or is it just the consumer?
Well, I do think that we touched a little bit on it in one of the previous episodes, is lowers the barrier to entry. So before, if you wanted to be a food entrepreneur, before these new cottage food laws, if you wanted to be a food entrepreneur, you had to have money in the bank. You had to be able to pay for a shared commercial kitchen or build your own commercial kitchen at great expense. So by allowing people to start in their home kitchen, they're lowering the barrier to entry so more people have an opportunity to participate in the food system.
Okay, because we're talking about, maybe mom has a great fudge recipe and like we said once before, baking something for family, friends, colleagues, whatever, is a whole different story when you're looking at branding, packaging, doing dozens and dozens and dozens of fudge packages.
Because if you think about it, for a shared commercial kitchen, you're going to spend hundreds of dollars a month just for time in the kitchen. So you have to make sure that you're selling hundreds of dollars a month just to break even, just to pay for your commercial kitchen. And we're not talking about, like what you're saying, the packaging and the branding and creating a logo or doing any of that other kind of stuff that goes along with starting a business, the incorporating, paying for your insurance.
Yeah.
So you have all these monthly and annual expenses that start piling up, and you haven't even sold your first cookie yet.
Right. And there's so much that goes, the entrepreneurial spirit is strong. But there are aspects of being an entrepreneur that can be challenging. And sales comes into place if you're doing a cottage food kitchen in your own home and you're testing your recipe.
Yes.
Who's going to buy it from you?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You have to get out there, and you have to start with friends and family and getting the word out that you have started this venture. And at least lowering the barrier to entry, at least being able to forego in the interim, in the beginning, saving all those hundreds of and thousands of dollars potentially to even get started allows more people to start.
Yeah, and then they can also source their materials that they need.
Yes.
their ingredients.
Yeah.
So, okay, I mean, if you're paying rent or a mortgage anyway, start in your own kitchen.
Well, and then you can also write off your kitchen.
Oh.
So there's a little tax savings there. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So there are other ways to utilize the asset that you already have, which is your home kitchen, and making sure that you're doing everything legally and protecting your consumer, protecting your clients. You know what I mean? So lowering the barrier to entry, I think, is one of the main benefits to cottage food laws. I think also we talked about testing the waters. Now it gives you some runway. You can test that this is actually something that is a good, viable product that people will pay for and that you like doing it before you then invest.
Yeah, because sometimes my friend Steve always says, your passion, he believes that your passion can't be turned into a profitable business or your hobby. I totally disagree with him, because if you're excited about something and you're passionate about it, and again, there's a reality to turning your hobby or passion into a viable business. So I always say back into your numbers. If you've sourced out your stuff, okay, and then how many dozens of cookies do I need to make to profit for my own time? Because sometimes entrepreneurs cut themselves out of the financial equation.
Right, and then you're making like $1 an hour.
Exactly. So it's a good way to start. And some people stay in a cottage food. You know, they don't expand beyond that because it's just enough.
Right. And I will also say probably a lot of cottage food operations start and then they end. So you get started and then you realize, well, this is a lot of work. The natural progression, if it's going well and you're getting some sales and you are enjoying the work and you're building, the natural progression is to move into a shared kitchen and then to take on that next. So that's the next step, because then you can increase your volume of what, then you're dealing with commercial grade ovens and mixers and refrigeration and storage. So then you have all that at your disposal when you go to a shared commercial kitchen.
And it also opens up the distribution of your product.
Absolutely. And you create so much community. Like there are so many people inside a commercial kitchen and everybody wants you to succeed. So they share tips, they share ideas, they share connections. And that's where you get even more opportunities. So it is the natural, progression of your business. But to at least be able to start somewhere, I think is important. And then, of course, you were talking earlier about local benefits to the community. When you have a local business that's doing well, that local business spends more locally.
Yes, and they could be hiring someone else to help them with their own business. So it definitely is a good economic option for people if they are so inclined to be bakers and, cooks.
Bakers, makers. Yep, all of the above. We know a lot of people have been making or doing things from their home kitchens. People make soaps and candles and all kinds of stuff from their home kitchens as well.
Yeah.
So that's all. And even though they're not necessarily cottage food operations, they are making dough from their home kitchens, which is part of what this whole show is about, kitchen dough. People do use their home kitchens in more ways than just making food to make money. And those people have small cottage operations. They're not necessarily cottage food operations, but they are cottage operations. And being able to utilize your home kitchen to do those kinds of things enables you to get started. If you are a really successful candle maker or soap maker, and you're doing that from your home kitchen, you eventually are going to have your own little studio.
Yeah, and some people do that in their garage. They have a little studio in their garage trying to make something. And I think, like I said, when we struggled through that economic downturn in like 2008, 9, 10, I think it forced people to be creative, rely on themselves and their own talent, skills, experience, expertise, and, kind of look for opportunity to get a side hustle.
I was just listening this morning to a millennial who came out of college with all kinds of tens of thousands of college debt.
Sure.
And she was looking for ways to pay off that college debt, and she got a job, which she was grateful for. But to pay off the college debt, she continued her side hustle, which was babysitting. So just creating that side hustle or that extra little revenue stream can be the thing that helps get you out of that debt. Just that extra little revenue stream that is just dedicated to paying off that college loan. And which brings us to all the different people who get involved in cottage food operations, and millennials are just one of them because they're very much about local and sustainable.
Yeah, and I think that there have been enough stories in the news that people are like, well, that college student did it, or, oh, that mom did it. In the old days, it was the lady who started Crocs or, Energy C, whatever it is. Those seem out of reach because we heard the stories. We didn't watch them on a local scale.
Right.
To get inspired by them. We're like, oh, they are so big, they're already in Target and Whole Foods, and
yes,
we can't connect. But this we can connect to.
Yes. Because we're seeing it. We're seeing our neighbors succeed.
Yes.
We're seeing our neighbors start. My girlfriend, Parita, started Food for the Gods. She had a recipe that was a family recipe that she brought from the Philippines. And she started a cottage food operation selling her Food for the Gods, which are these amazing date bars. And she's able to start as a cottage food operator.
Yeah. So you can be an empty nester,
Mm-hmm.
you have more time on your hands.
Yeah, I'm starting to find that out.
Me too. If, like you said, the college student needs a couple extra bucks, you could be perfect for the cottage food business. Okay, up next on Cottage Food, we are going to be talking about, are you ready to be a cottage food operator?
That's coming up next on Kitchen Dough, the show for food entrepreneurs.
Whether you are a woman, a man, or a young person, your time in a hair salon should be special. I'm Doris Rivas-Brecky, host of Daily Dialogue with Doris on WS Radio, and I look forward to those special moments at Fantastic Sam's located at 124 West Main Street in downtown El Cajon, California, and the Fantastic Sam Salon at 9723 Mission Gorge Road in Santee, California. I go to both depending on which way I'm heading out for work. Both salons are conveniently located by two major freeways. The Fantastic Sam's experience is always positive, uplifting, and family-friendly. Fantastic Sam stylists put your hair needs and desires first. So if you don't know Fantastic Sam's in El Cajon or Santee, California, why don't you give them a try and tell them Daily Dialogue with Doris sent you.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.